Hi guys, I have my glasses on this morning. It's Tuesday, March 31st, last day of March. And the reason I have my glasses on is because I'm going to be using my teacher's book a little bit to help with the math today, because there's a lot of information I have to tell you. We're going to do something brand new. Before we do that, I wanted to show you the moon phase. The moon phase tonight is going to be a first quarter moon. And if you go outside and look, it should look just like that. You should see about 45% of the face of the moon. And then don't forget, you can still find the length of day with mom and dad. And you can find the difference between the high and low temperatures. Just ask them to check their phones to go to the weather app. And on that, they should be able to tell you the high and low temperature for the day and the sunrise and sunset time. So go ahead and keep practicing that elapsed time with length of day and the difference between the high and low temperatures. See if you can still do that. I bet you can still draw those timelines all by yourself without me. You guys were doing such a good job of that before we went, went to virtual teaching. So still try that. I would love it if you still did that every day. Or I'm going to try to remember to go over that in the first thing with the lesson that I videotape for you. So I might forget sometimes, but I'll try to remember. Okay. Besides that, today we have some exciting math to do. So today we're going to be working with this packet plus your math journal. And today we're going to be making prisms. And prisms are three-dimensional shapes. So if we were in class today, we would be getting together in groups of 4 and sitting down, and I would put a bunch of pattern blocks on your desks. And the pattern blocks would look like this. And, oh, not that one. This. And this. And then I'd use the orange squares too. And I'd give you 4 of each of those shapes. And I'd give you some Scotch tape. And I'd ask you to tape 4 of the same shapes together. So you can see here I have 4 squares that I taped together. And 4 triangles that I taped together. See how that makes a 3-dimensional shape? And here I taped 4 hexagons together. And here are 4 trapezoids. Okay, the reason we're doing this is because we're going to make 3-dimensional shapes, and 3-dimensional shapes have different parts. So let's see if we can remember the names of the parts from 2nd grade, okay? So the base of the shape are the top and bottom, and the way we know that they're the bases is because they're parallel and they're on the opposite sides of the shape. So in this case, the bases would be, that's right, trapezoids. And then we also have edges. Do you remember edges? And vertices, that's where the edges meet. Okay? Now you also have, other than the bases, we also have faces. Now look what happens. This is a trapezoidal prism because the bases are trapezoids, but the faces are not necessarily trapezoids. What would you say that is? Right? Oh. So I see that the faces, the other sides, the other flat sides that aren't the bases are, this looks like a big rectangle, and then look, 1, 2, 3 small rectangles. So this trapezoidal prism has 2 trapezoid bases that are opposite sides and parallel, and it has 4 rectangle faces, and then we also have edges and vertices. Okay, so today you're going to be using this, so you can see the squares. This is actually called a rectangular prism. And here's a triangular prism. And they're named after the bases. So you can see the bases are the opposite parallel sides. So in the triangular prism, what do you notice? The bases are triangles. The other faces are what? Oh. Surprise, rectangles. Neat, huh? Okay, here's a hexagonal prism. And you can see, once again, the bases, the opposite parallel sides are hexagons. But let's see, oh, what are the other faces? Let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangles. So a hexagonal prism has 2 hexagonal bases and 6 rectangular faces. All right, And I think I showed you everything. Those are our 4 shapes. So we're going to use those today. You can go back to my video and watch them again. And we're going to talk about how prisms are named after their bases. And you're going to make nets. Now nets are just when you take paper. You can see this net is a triangular prism. If you were in school, you'd have this. And this is going to be on your home links. So you can, if you're looking for this net, it's on your home links page. And you're going to cut out the paper, and you're going to turn and use Scotch tape and scissors, and you're going to turn that 2-dimensional piece of paper into a 3-dimensional triangular prism. And then on the back of this page, after you read the directions, you'll also have a chance to make another prism using a pentagon. It has pentagon bases, so it's called a pentagonal prism. That's a mouthful, isn't it? All right, so that's what you're doing today. You're going to complete this activity along with your home links. Go back and review what I just said about bases and faces and edges and vertices. And then you're going to get out your math journal, and we're going to complete the math journal pages for 8-8. So, and of course I just tried to reach for my glasses that are on my desk. All right, so 8-8 are going to be the activities on pages 272 and 273. Now, you can't trace the prisms, so I want you to pick one of these and get your pattern block template and go over what I just showed you. Now remember, the triangular prism has 2 triangle bases and 3 rectangular faces. Okay, so imagine what that would look like if you had this. And you can pick that one to draw. You just have to pick one of these, okay? You don't have to do them all. Here's our rectangular prism. Remember, squares are types of rectangles. So this one has square bases and 4 rectangular faces that you can draw. Use your pattern block template that you have. If you want to do the trapezoidal prism, you're going to trace 2 trapezoid bases and then 4 rectangular faces. Remember, one of the rectangles is big, the other ones are small. And finally, if you choose to trace the hexagonal prism, you're going to trace 2 hexagon bases and 6 rectangular faces. Okay, so I just want you to break it down so you understand what the prisms are made of. All right, and then you're already on the math boxes for today. So I need you to complete page 273. Let's see. The reasoning and writing section for number 5 says, Taylor says that another name for 1 on the number line in problem 3 is 4/4. Do you agree? Explain your answer. So let's look at problem 3 and let's look at number 1. Now let's look at from 0 to 1. How many parts did they divide it into? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So would 1 whole be 4/4 on this number line? Yes, it would. So go ahead and number that. This would be 0/4, 4/4, and I'm going to let you solve that one. And then you also have to mark a point at 5/4. It might help you to start at 0/4 and keep numbering them up until you get to the improper fraction that's going to be above. That's going to be for 2. Okay. See if you can do all those. I'm going to post the answer key. So I don't want to tell you all the answers right now, but I'm going to post the answer key so you can check it. Okay. So down here you're going to say, do we agree? Yes, we agree. And then we're going to explain 1 whole is equal to. That's right, 4/4, okay? All right, so that's math for today. We are gonna get together and talk today about the new hoop. So, if you can join me for our Google Hangout at 10:30 this morning, I'd love to see you. We're gonna read the new hoop together. Our comprehension strategy this week is to summarize, and we're also gonna talk about point of view. Just to go over this week. Our story genres are realistic fiction. So let's talk about what we see, and we've had lots of realistic fiction this year already, but we're going to just review it because it's been a little while. When we have stories with the realistic fiction genre, like Clementine and now The New Hoop, they're made-up stories, so they're not real, but they could happen. They have characters that might be like people you really know, and things and events, settings, places and things that happen that really could happen. Nothing that's far-fetched or made up. Like too far out there, I mean. All right, and then they also have illustrations that give information about the characters, the setting, and the events, okay? So you're going to notice this has illustrations, not photographs like our nonfiction texts that we read. And you're going to see two kids that look like two pretty ordinary kids, and they're doing a pretty ordinary thing in a pretty ordinary place. They're playing basketball on a basketball court. So those are all things that we'd really see. No aliens, no monsters. This is realistic fiction. All right, when we get together, we're going to read The New Hoop. If you want to preview it this morning, I have a fun idea for you. Want to hear it? Okay, I want you to build a fort and read it in the fort before you come see me for my meeting. Okay, so you can get some chairs and towels or blankets and pillows and read The New Hoop. You can read it to yourself, preview it. When we get together today at 10:30, we're going to read it again, and we're going to talk about summarizing, which we've talked about before, point of view, realistic fiction, which we just talked about. We'll just go over that one more time. And then homographs. And you guys know what homographs are. They're when words have the same sound and the same spelling, but multiple meanings. Like the word fair, F-A-I-R. If somebody says, hey, that's not fair. Well, F-A-I-R could mean equal treatment, right? Or it could mean like a carnival, a fair, right? With a Ferris wheel. So in this case, you would probably determine that fair, F-A-I-R, means equal treatment, right? Okay, so we're going to go over those. That's going to be one of the another vocabulary strategy for this week that we'll be talking about a little bit too. So go over the story before you meet with me this morning by yourself in your blanket fort or your towel fort. Then go over the different concepts, page 352, 353, 354, and 355. That's what we're going to be talking about when we're together. And I'm going to be stopping you for a close read on some of these sections of the book. And I'm going to be asking you to find those homographs for me and talking about the character's point of view and finding examples of how we know this is realistic fiction. And then we're going to go back and summarize the story together a little bit too. So if you can meet me, that's what we're doing. And then you're going to go on and work on these 2 pages after you meet with me. Okay? That is the 2 pages that are our comprehension pages about the new hoop. And those are in your packet. They're after the grammar pages before the reading test, okay? The other thing we're going to do today is we're not going to do grammar. Usually we do grammar on Tuesdays. We're going to wait a little bit for grammar because I need you to do some writing today. After you're done reading the new hoop with me, you're going to go back and you're going to write a paragraph for me, okay? So I need you to go ahead and read pages 356 and 357. This is all in your workshop book, by the way. And you're going to see how they added to the story. And then you're going to do the your turn activity. And that's where you're going to write a paragraph and you're going to add to the end of the story. You're going to have Marco explain to his class how he practiced conservation. Okay? And so go and read these 2 pages. We'll talk about this in our tomorrow when we meet. But if you can't make the meeting, that's still you need to read those pages so you understand what to do. Okay? So today, let's review. We're going to do math lesson 8.8. That's this packet plus the workbook pages we just talked about. I need you to have mom and dad text me images of the math box page in your workbook and this page, your home links page. You're going to cut this prism out. That's okay. I just need the top of the page. You can also upload it to our Google Classroom, upload the images yourself, okay, and turn it in. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to read the new hoop. You're going to preview it before you meet with me. And then we're going to talk about it together, plus all those skills and strategies we just discussed. And then we're going to write that paragraph, all right? We're also going to complete these pages. It's just 2 pages where we talk about some of those skills and strategies we just went over for the new hoop. It's just these 2 pages right here. Okay? It's in your packet in your week 2 folder. All right, you guys. I'll see you at 10:30. If you can't make it, I'll miss you. You have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.